Hey guys, I'm Kat, the founder of Binary Tattoo, and I'm here today to tell you my 8 top tips for staying safe online. Or Binary Cat says, don't do that. So, tip number 1, don't post any photos or send them by Snapchat or email that you wouldn't want your boss, your grandma, or your parents to see. A lot of people have been doing this. I see photos go by that end up in the wrong hands because of software bugs, because someone makes a mistake and sends it to the wrong person. Everything you put online is permanent and should be considered public. So if you're sending a photo to your spouse or your partner and you wouldn't want your grandmother to see it or your boss to see it, you might not want to send it digitally because it could actually end up in their hands by accident. Rule number 2, don't send pictures of your friends that break rule number 1. So if you have a picture posted of yourself on Instagram or a video on YouTube or anything you don't like, the only way those services are going to pull those pictures is if they break the terms and conditions of the service. So if there's a picture of you nude, or if you're underage and you're drinking, it breaks a rule or it breaks a law, then they will take off that photo. But if you just don't like it because you look bad, no one's gonna take that photo down for you. So you should do a favor to the people you know and make sure you're not posting photos of them that they won't like either. Rule number 3, do not post personal information online that is not readily available. So when's the last time you lost your password? And then you go in and it says, what is the name of the street you grew up on, or what's your mother's maiden name, or the name of your first pet? You want to make sure you're not publicly putting that information out there. So if you have a Twitter account, public Instagram, public Facebook, public Pinterest, you want to make sure you're not displaying information about your kids' birthdays, your parents' maiden names or birthdays, the address where you grew up, or any of that stuff that you think might come up in a question for passwords. Rule number 4, do not publicly announce when you're going away. So especially around holiday time, if you're not going to be home, would you put a sign up on your window or your door that says, I'm not here for the next week? Probably not. So if you are posting about vacations, you're super excited that you're going away, post about them when you get back. Put up all your pictures, share all your information, but don't let thieves know that your house is empty. There have been many stories where people have even won tickets to concerts and then posted on public Twitter that their entire family would be out at this concert for a night, and then people have broken into their homes to take their stuff. Number 5, do not underestimate what your computer or your device already knows about you. Every single time you take a picture or you post something, metadata gets attached to those things. And metadata contains all sorts of information about the device you're using, the computer you're using, and the location from which you are doing things. So if you do not want to be tracked by geolocation or geotagging, you want to make sure that is off in your settings. If you are calling in sick from work, do not post the photos 2 days later because the date is still on the photo. So don't forget how much is actually in those devices and is being tagged onto everything you put online. Number 6, don't forget to set privacy settings. They are there for a reason. If you are posting online publicly, no matter what network you're using, or even if you're sending something else that's public on a website, all of that stuff is fair game for people to use. Though there are terms and conditions that say that people can't use your stuff for money or they're not supposed to sell anything, doesn't mean they're not going to do it. So you want to make sure you have everything that's private protected by those privacy settings, and you're only sharing with people you actually know. Privacy settings change every 6 months to a year, so try and take time. If it's New Year's, if it's spring cleaning, set a date in your calendar, and once a year go through your privacy settings and make sure they are what you think they're supposed to be, because sometimes the networks will update them and then they will reset default behaviors and it may not be what you think. Number 7, do not post anything negative about your coworkers or staff members at a school that you go to. Even if you think you're posting it privately, if somebody else sees it, they can share it. Again, everything online should be considered public and permanent because you're at the mercy of other people not sharing it. So many stories of people losing their jobs from posting this stuff. So don't post anything negative about the people you work with, the company you work for, or the people you work for. Number 8, make sure you use a different password for every account that you have. I know this is a huge pain because the average person has at minimum 40 different accounts online right now. But the problem is if you use a password and a set of credentials, which is your email plus your password, if it gets hacked off of one website, then a hacker can use it on every other website they think you might be using. And they don't do it manually with their hands sitting and typing. They actually run programs that do it for them. So it's pretty quick, it's pretty efficient, and they can find all the other places online where you're using the same password and email address. If you're having a lot of trouble remembering passwords, you can always write down hints on a piece of paper, not the password, but hints so that you remember what they are. At the very least, you should have your passwords written down somewhere, even if they're in an envelope for someone, just in case you can't get into an account and they need to get one. But again, try and keep them all different so that you can stay safe. Okay, so those are my top tips for today. Remember that Binary Attack Cat says don't do that. And you want to stay safe, check out our YouTube channel for tons more videos and lots of tips and tricks with all the other networks to keep you having an online identity that is positive and safe. And asking yourself, what's your binary tattoo?